One of the uh, problems I have is with the concept of forgiveness and what forgiveness means. If somebody harms me or is cruel to me and is quite destructive to the way in my life and damages me in so many ways, um, I am then supposed to forgive them and say, well, is that okay? That what they've done is okay? That they've abused me in so many ways? Or, or what do I do? How do I cope with that if I don't forgive them? I think the whole concept of forgiveness is wrong. You cannot forgive anybody unless they make reparation for what they've done and they understand and become aware. Now, if someone comes and says to me, look, I'm absolutely really sorry. I now understand my actions have hurt you dreadfully and I have abused you. And I'm going to assure that what I do in the future will be very, very different because I can see how badly you have been hurt by my actions. Now I feel then that I can say, yeah, I can then have a choice to forgive them. But if that person doesn't change their way of behaviour and continue to be antisocial and hurting and destructive to people, how can you forgive them? What is there to forgive? They're perpetrating their actions and hurting others and other people. And that needs to be confronted. Not to be forgiven, that needs to be confronted. And I don't forgive anyone unless, it's very rare, unless someone absolutely makes reparation. And I don't forget either. I don't forget people who have hurt me, who've been very negative towards me and have been cruel and inflicted pain upon me. Why should I forget? Because by recognising what has happened to me and feeling that pain, then I wouldn't want to inflict that on others. And two, when I see other people doing that as well onto others, I know and feel what the person is feeling who it's being done to. And in many ways, I can then intercede and say, no, this is unacceptable behaviour. And I will confront people. I have no problem in confronting people who are hurting other people. When I can see that, when I can feel that. And I know what what it feels like, and I understand the situation because I've been in the situation myself. Forgiveness isn't part of my general vocabulary. I don't go around forgiving people. I don't forgive people who make mistakes. Why should I? People who go around and they do dreadful things. For instance, Mother Teresa, giving me a good example, who there's an epidemic of AIDS within the country, and she says, no, I don't believe in contraceptions. It's anti what I believe in. And so they weren't supplied. And people who they'd worn condoms would have protected the people who they're sleeping with. Instead, they passed the virus on to people, and it got passed on, and people died of AIDS. I can't forgive that. That's unforgivable. I don't care whether she is called a saint or not. That isn't saintly. Doesn't matter what other good she did, and she did a tremendous amount of good. That there is unforgivable. Because she didn't bother to read about what was happening. She just went by belief and had no interest in looking at the suffering of the individuals who got AIDS and died by it, because she felt, her belief told her something different. I don't have any belief. I don't believe there is any belief. All I can do is look at the world I live in and look at my actions and how my actions impact onto others. And that's really the way that we should live our life. Not believing in something and then saying everyone else has to believe this, and because I believe in something that makes me fine and good. It doesn't. It's what our impact is on the world around us. And this idea that we should forgive, and we also use the term forgive and forget. Well, as I've already illustrated, I don't forget either, because we shouldn't forget. We should look at what has happened. So when we look at what happened in places like Auschwitz, we shouldn't forget that. And we shouldn't forgive the people who allowed that to happen. And we shouldn't forgive the nation that allowed that to happen. I'm not talking about the modern nation, because it could have happened in this country. It could have happened in any country, because the people have a herd instinct and they will go along and they want to conform, and they will go along with the majority. It's very hard to stand up and be individual against things that are being perpetrated which are totally unacceptable. So we need to recognise that that can happen. And we need to not forget about it, but to remember it. And our duty is not to forgive those people who did those dreadful things, or the nation that allowed dreadful things to happen. What we need to do is say, no, I understand what happened, and I won't forget it. This is very unchristian for a lot of people, because it goes against what they have been brought up to believe, or what the church believes, that we should turn the other cheek. And we shouldn't turn the other cheek. There are times when we need to confront things that are happening within our society which are not acceptable. We don't accept them. We challenge them. If we see somebody being bullied, it is our responsibility as an individual to go up there and stop the bullying, and to deal with the perpetrators and explain to them that this is not acceptable behaviour. If people are antisocial, we need to re-educate them. When young people steal and take things, it isn't about forgiving them, it's about modification of their behaviour so that they don't do it again. It's not about just putting people in prison and that when they've done their term, they've served their time, and then we can forgive them and that's okay. It is not okay. It is only okay when they make amends, when they say our actions were hurtful, cruel, inappropriate, whatever, then they shouldn't have been done. And only when they have that recognition and they understand what they have done and they will not do it again, then we can then forgive them. And we don't understand that. And I don't like this word, that someone does something to you and you say, I forgive them. Because I don't think that helps the individual at all. Because deep down, the hurt they have suffered has never really come out. The anger and or the guilt, whatever, against the other person has never been expressed. And so they carry that around with them. They carry it around with them for years, and it festers inside them. And they need to express, everybody who has been hurt needs to express, I have been hurt. And this action hurt me, and this is how it hurt me. And these were the people or person who hurt me, and I then need them to know that they have hurt me. And I need everyone to know that they have hurt me. And so when someone says, we come to a friend who came to me and she'd been abused, and I said to her, we talked about it, and she was so angry and she wanted to confront them. I gave her very many options. So these are likely things that would happen. She realised afterwards that when the family rejected her that this might happen. But she was released because she realised he had told her father that he was an abuser, and she felt released by that. And she had confronted him. And a couple of years later, when the mother confronted the father and the father was thrown out, the mother then brought her back into the family and was sorry. And then she forgave her daughter for what for, I don't know, but for breaking up the family. But she realised that the daughter didn't have to forgive the father, and that was the struggle that they had when they formed a reconciliation, is coming to terms with that. And the woman wanted the father put way away from the family and didn't want to have to come in contact with them again, and I think that was right. It's a big subject. There's a lot to discuss there, but we're at the beginnings of it.